busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Beautiful, loving and free. Some shade? Oh yeah, absolutely. Cut the music because I want to make sure they hear me. Oh, that's my phone. Thank you. What's going on right here at Listen Vision Live on Georgia Avenue? I put my co-host / guest on the spot. He didn't know he was going to host with me tonight.
Lord.
But I just, why not? Just full of everything Trayon White tonight. He always shows up for your girl. I cannot be more humble, more appreciative to this guy right here that he shows up for me and shuts down the studio. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself. He's the guest co-host right now.
You reached the Trayon White show now. Live in the building. No, my name is Trayon White. I'm a servant of God. I work in the Great Ward 8, representing Ward 8 on the D.C. City Council. Born and raised in Southeast Washington, D.C. Also a graduate of the Frank W. Ballou Senior High School.
Whoop whoop. Ballou Nice, where you at?
No question. So I know JT is here at Anacostia Indian, but we're going to give him some grace, man. It ain't his fault. It's his mom's fault. His mom sent him there. So it wasn't his choice. But I'm excited to be here tonight to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Nothing is off limit. So
and you guys be keeping them questions coming on Facebook. So I would have went ahead and plugged my phone in. But guys, type your questions in. Trayon is up for re-election. We're going to talk about all of that. But since he's the guest co-host, we just got to talk like normal people right now.
All right.
So if nobody knew you and they was just first introduced to you, who are you? Introduce yourself.
That's a heavy question because every day I'm discovering who I am. I'm a man of God. I'm a servant. I'm a father. I'm a brother, a nephew. I have a lot of titles, but at the end of the day, I'm honest, straightforward. I'm a tourist.
Woo woo.
Tourist. Hello.
Boo gang in the building. Boo gang in the building.
We had one. Oh, never mind. Edit the tape.
But no,
And I'm a true man of the people. I've exemplified that in several different facets of my life. I've been involved in the community activism for about 18 years now.
you know what? That's
Yeah.
one of my questions.
Yeah.
That's for the interview part. But I mean,
Yeah.
we want to jump right in. But definitely, I want people to know that this, he's been part of the community so long, and I couldn't be more proud of just seeing the man you developed into.
Yeah.
And so now, I'm kind of telling my age, you
Yeah.
know, but I'm so proud of you.
You was there when I did my first talent show in middle school.
Man, you hear me?
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I was in the audience. What you do?
I probably was rapping.
Yeah, you was rapping. Matter of fact,
I'm trying to
she
tell
was a
you.
rapper. Yeah, I know B was a rapper.
I'm
Did
trying to tell you.
She was in the talent show when I was in the talent show.
I'm trying to tell you I was rapping.
That's
man.
back in the day.
That-
Shout out to Big Brock, man. Both Brocks, man.
Yes, rest in peace.
Rest
We
in
miss
peace,
you,
man.
junior and senior.
No question.
I mean, he was so many people's dad, and coming from the community.
Disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Father figure, coach. Because you play basketball too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty
Yeah.
good too.
I tried. I tried. I tried to be the second man. But I just love everything. But everything that I watch you become is because we had those great leaders like that.
Absolutely.
And just like seeing you develop into this person is because you had great people that you can look up to. And I mean, of course, I feel like we jumping right in, but I want people to really get to know you and get to know your story, and talking about the Murray and Berry days before it was really truly you in the forefront.
Yeah.
Talk about that. You got to meet a man that we all admired, that opened a lot of doors for the summer people. I ain't never had a job, but I was able to work for Murray and Berry.
Yeah.
Because he developed programs, and we're gonna tap into all that good stuff. But just talk about that man right there.
So one of the things that people remember Murray and Berry for is the summer job, right? But I think it was much more greater than that. Actually, before I came here, I just came from Mr. Mayfield House, who was also known as Catfish, whom he started Pride Incorporated with way back in the day. And that was a vision to get people off the streets and get employment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also went and doing the rep patrol. And he came, from SNCC to Washington, D.C. to start a chapter here under the leadership of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So he came from strong leadership. He came from down the South and came here and started his activism and grew into politics. But he was one of the greatest politicians ever graced the United States of America. He gave a lot of people hope. As for me studying history, a lot of people in D.C. were kind of like, passive when it came to politics, more, not as aggressive. But he came and gave people a lot of backbone to stand up. And he also was very integral in putting resources to the black community, because I think the numbers was like, I guess, less than 10% of minority businesses getting contracts in D.C., up that number to 37%, to make it mandated that blacks participate and have economic interests, not just programs or social service programs, but also own businesses. So you think about people like Kathy Hughes, was a multi-billionaire, or Bob Johnson with BET. BET started right here in our city because Murray and Berry didn't give him a handout, but he gave him a hand up. And there's so many people like that and throughout the world. Even PG County became the richest black county in the United States of America because of Murray and Berry.
Do you know, like, a lot of people looking at you like that these days? I mean, I done got so many. I was trying to come up with some interview questions. I always try to interview as if I don't, look up to you and admire you. I know how much you're a man of God, and I'm very spiritual and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But people are really, watching you. And I mean, I was asked to ask you, why aren't you running for mayor?
I got asked that 4 times today. Ask JC. People ask me that all day long.
I mean, we ready.
You ready?
I mean, I'm kind of biased, but I mean, people that was the question. I wrote, it was in my phone, but
Who
I
sent
wanted
you
to
that question?
look at all these.
Because we want to make sure they're working on my current campaign, so they have so much ambitions for me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I've been asked that question of, why you not running for mayor?
I believe in focusing on the task at hand. Right now, I'm currently the council member for Ward 8, and so I'm on a learning curve, growing in this capacity, learning about politics. Because early on, I had no desire to even be in politics. Like, it was like people and circumstances pushed me towards my destiny, and so I'm in this moment, and I'm up for re-election. So I don't want to be looking too far ahead and not focus on the now. I believe in the acronym: focus, follow one course until successful. Okay. And so right now I'm just focusing on galvanize people to elect me in Ward 8 and becoming a better council member, you know.
So Ward 8, I know is like kind of where we're bred from, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I grew up on Chesapeake, 4th and Atlantic. I know we
trenches.
Yeah. Where you from? I know where I'm from.
I'm from all over.
I know. I mean, I remember coming down to your house, First Street.
Yeah. Hello.
First Street, baby.
Hey, that's where it went down. Right.
When did you become so passionate about the community? How did you know that this was your thing?
I believe that seeds to the future are cast in the past. And so when I started transitioning to college, I started to try to figure out what's my purpose, what's my passion, what I want to do. And I started to look at, I did a lot of things involving working in the community and with youth. So I worked in Branson, Missouri with Kids Across America. I was in BET in Burbank, California doing Teen Summit. I did a lot of things youth-related. I worked at different ministries, different outreach groups in DC through Devon Cloud. And so what happened was I started coaching Little League football.
Okay.
In 2001. And when I went to college, I was a senior at Ballou. Most of the kids that played on that team went to Ballou or Anacostia. We won the state championship. We traveled around the country beating all these other teams. But then within 2 years, we lost 5 of those kids to homicide. And I feel like we won in football, but we was losing in life. And I started to think I'm more than just a football coach. I have to pretty much figure out what were some things that allowed me to get out and take that back. So I promise God, if he ever allowed me to become successful and get out, that I'll spend my time and energy trying to make my community better. But I thought that was just coaching football. And I coached for 9 years. And so from that team, I think we lost 17 people from that team. 14 people from that team. But you got to do the math because I coached 9 different teams. And that's just football. I coached basketball too. I coached baseball a few years. And I coached several different teams. And so that's how I really got entrenched to the community. And from there, I started a nonprofit helping inner city kids succeed. I work with Reverend Isaac in the community too. That's how I met JT. We started working in various communities, Congress Park, Woodland. I did tutoring in Berry Farms. I used to work at Beneters with the kitty car thieves in Beneters. We took some kids to it was a lot. I did a lot of that stuff when I was young. I looked like I was young, like that was their age, but I was probably a few years older.
And see, that's what I'm saying. It's so important that we do it right now.
Yep.
I think, I got to speak. I always tell Trey, I started this nonprofit. I'm all about the women, young girls transitioning to women. Absolutely. And I don't really know where to start, but like where he started, he didn't know that it would blossom into this great thing where he's now leading millions and people. And, one thing I want to touch on, because I'm not going to ignore the frowns and, I feel like even on your behalf, sometimes I go for the trolls, but I feel like you're not going to be able to always do something right. It's always somebody that has something to say. Yeah. How do you handle not being perfect, especially being in the light? You're not going to hit it. Everybody not going to like you. You're not going to do everything right. You're not going to agree with everything that's being put out there. How do you handle that? So
I have not been perfect for all my life.
Yeah.
So
nobody is.
So it's not nothing new, but it's like, everything I do is spotlighted or highlighted, not even just me, but those who are around me. So as I mature and as I grow, I got to be conscious of things about what I do affect other people. And so I've grown in that. I embrace my flaws and I listen to the critics. Like people try to ignore the criticism. Sometimes I listen to it because there may be some truth in what they're saying, and I try to just take the meat and spit out the bones type thing, So, because you can't have people always around you saying yes and praising you. You got to have people say, man, that's not a good idea, or that's not wise, or you should do this. And I always try to think about those things because I did lose Marion Berry, William Lockridge.
I love William Lockridge.
Yeah,
I was able to develop a relationship with him. So
William Lockridge was the one who got me into politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was all for the push for me, but I ain't had no directions.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Soldier.
Here I am right now, motivating and inspiring.
If I was a rapper, I'd say he discovered me, but I'm not a rapper. So yeah.
And guess what, guys? So this was just the opening of the show. We probably tapped into some things. I invited Murder Free DC in the building. Their nonprofit and their things that I'm gonna learn about their organization. Honestly, I talked about it briefly. It's gonna be a free for all. We gonna learn about what Murder Free is doing in the community. I'm gonna share some photos, because they don't even know I did this, but I went ahead and reset some things, and we gonna revisit a lot of things that went on in the community. But before I go to them, because I know once we get to talking, it's gonna go a long way. Trey not going nowhere. But what I do want to say is I want you to put this up, because Trey is not taking money from the corporate people this year. He won it from us.
Woo!
Yeah. So what I had planned to do, I'm streaming live right now. But I promise you, after the show, after I go off the air, one of the things I'm gonna do is donate. I don't have much. I'm just,
you got the link on there and everything.
Yeah, I'm just a black girl from Southeast. I don't have much, but I plan to give. If you can match my $50, I'ma love it. And one thing I will say is, like I said, I'm still learning about this nonprofit thing. I should have went ahead and seen how many Buzy Would Be supporters could have donated to Buzy Would Be nonprofit, and then we make a big donation.
How do we donate to Buzy Would Be nonprofit?
You know what?
Since I'm co-hosting.
You are co-hosting. So Buzy Would Be is my podcast. Busy Being Beautiful operates under Buzy Would Be, and I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm looking for a mentor. I'm looking for someone that would teach me about their mentorship program. But more so than anything, I want my program to uplift young girls and help them transition to the real world. Meaning teaching them financial literacy, teaching them self-awareness, self-care, self-love. Speaking over young girls and let them know that we are the backbone for real. We let guys think they running it, but ultimately, we really control the net.
Facts, though. I just posted about that yesterday.
Yeah, so it's just like really, I just really want to get behind a young girl while she's young and while she's impressionable, and I think we so programmed and so trained to feel like we got to go to college and go to school. No, what is your talent right now? Enjoy your beauty, enjoy being young and walking in your purpose right now, so you don't have to wait. So that's what Busy Being Beautiful is all about. Right. I'm gonna be doing things with little girls and moms, and I got Murder Free DC in the building, so they gonna coach me. They gonna take me up under their wing, and we gonna get it done. But Trey, why you ain't bring me where's my lime green shirt at though?
Well, we had 3 in the car,
okay.
And we went MLK and Malcolm X today with D-Dot. And one lady asked for one. We gave one lady one. Then all the ladies wanted one. So we did have one in the car for you. But we have some more in the house. So I got you.
I'm just saying. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to be joined up here. I don't know which one going to join me. Sean saying he's shy, but that's family right there. So I might whoever, however, but Murder.
Bring Kevin up. Who's
Murder Free? Dr. Phil is going to join me out here. That's what he said his name is. We're going to take a break, get Trey a break. And again, I hope y'all got y'all visas ready, because we're going to donate today. All right. See you back in a minute.
Peace.
Getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Ladies news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B. Getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B. Getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and it free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nats. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe that. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free. With B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nats. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe that. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving it free.
Getting busy with B.
Beautiful, loving it free.
So guys, so I'm joining the studio, Murder Free DC. I got Trey right here. I already introduced, and he's not going nowhere. He's my guest co-host / guest, and we got some more things for him. He up for re-election, but this guy right here means a lot to me. He's watched me from, I ain't gonna say from the dirt, but basically from the dirt. And he started Murder Free DC. I just wanted his face to be on camera, but I'm a chill with Doctor, and Doctor gonna get into the organization and kind of how they got started and all that, cause he a little shy, so I got break him in a little bit, you know. But he brought wifey in the studio, still beautiful, Asian backwards, both of them. But I'm loving everything about what's going on in the community, and gun violence is so important to Trayon. I know that, and one of the reasons I started this podcast and one of my first videos, and how I got confirmation from God that this was my purpose. And I lost Weedy and his wife, and that was one of my first videos I post, and it got over 1,000 views. And to me, that was confirmation that I was walking in my purpose. And I visited Listen Vision, and here I am almost 2 years later, and gun violence is so passionate to me. Born and raised straight from Southeast. So
Hello.
thank you for giving me a little bit camera time. I'm going to chill with Doctor and Trey, and we're going to touch on Murder Free a little bit. You're going to tell me about your organization. I know you are a new baby. It's in the process, but talk about Murder Free and how you got started. PJ, share those videos. I mean, those pictures. Not right now, but I'm just telling you. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Kevin Fields, and I'm president of Father Factor Incorporated. We are a nonprofit. We've been in existence since 2004.
Okay.
And we provide counseling, education, referral, and training services. This was started as a part of my dissertation. I was writing a doctorate on fatherlessness and dealing with how that affects substance abuse, violence, and drugs in the community. Mm-hmm. And as part of that, I've received some funding from SAMHSA to implement a fatherhood program in Parkland with Brenda Jones. This was in 2004, just before this time I was finishing class. And we implemented that program, and then we got funding from child support and a couple other organizations. So we've been doing this work for years. I'm from Ward 8 primarily, but I did live in Ward 5. I lived on Lincoln Road and R Street for years. I went to McKinley and Langley. But in Ward 8, that was always my passion. I come from Capers. I lived on First Street in Joliet. I've been around, Woodland. I coached football. I was a teacher. I used to teach at Ballou High School. Also ran the youth treatment for the city, drug treatment. But I'm no stranger to the streets. Mm-hmm. I used to run in the streets. I've shot people. I've been shot. I did the game. I did it good, too. Mm-hmm. And was very successful at it, Mm-hmm. But I took that portion of it in terms of changing the game, but my hustle stayed the same. That same tenacity that had me in the streets trying to be the best I could be, it now drives and motivates me to be the best businessman I can be. I own a store in Anacostia. It's called The Threads. We've been there since 2004. So anything I do, I try to maintain a level of consistency, longevity, which is important to me. We also do some housing projects where we assist people with Section 8 and stuff like that. In Maryland, primarily, D.C., we have issues with rent control and stuff. Right. But these are some of the things that we do. How we get to Murder Free, Sean developed Murder Free. This was a project of his. And he was doing a series of events in the city. Okay. Sean and I, we go from 12. We used to run the streets together. So we was no stranger to this process. We had a lot of our friends who went to jail. We were more fortunate because we were younger than most of them, that when our neighborhood we was under investigation, they locked our whole community up. We were younger, so that kind of saved us. It spared us from going into jail like the rest of them. So as they begin to come home from 26 years and 24 years and 25 years, we were looking at what could we do to help them, because they was coming home with some good ideas. They wanted to help people too. And Sean had started this Murder Free movement. It was starting as giveaways. They was doing boxing events, stuff like that in the community. He was doing some work with Tricky Entertainment, stuff like that. So he was really getting this going. So when the guys came home, it was about 8 or 9 of them. We all sat and talked and said, how can we go back in our neighborhood and have an impact? So we organized this community walk. After the community walk, we got a real good turnout and response back in September, and Councilman McDuffie supported it. All the ANCs was there.
That's Ward 5, right?
That's Ward 5, yeah. And this was our neighborhood. So a funding opportunity presented itself for us to look at, to go after a grant to really implement our visions and put them into practice, So we was able to do that. We submitted a grant. We galvanized that whole community. Folks said it was gentrified. We couldn't do it. We met with the Eckerton Civic Association. Standing room vote. Everybody voted for our program. They wrote letters to the Attorney General. They called the Attorney General. We want this program. We want these in, because when they heard our stories and how and how connected we was to that community, they said, we know that they would have a good impact on reducing violence in this community. So we was able to go in and receive this funding from the Attorney General to implement the murder-free project. Murder-free project, what we do is we're a violence reduction and prevention program. And this particular program, we have a 3-step model. We implement what is called Cure the Streets. And I must say shout out to Al Malik Farrakhan, because he's the one who this model was built from. They say it comes from Chicago and New York and all these other places. That's not true.
And let me stop you right there, because a lot of times, a lot of people think you have to start from scratch because they teach you in school, don't cheat, don't do none of this. But a lot of things that we need is right in front of us, and it's okay to make it your own. I'm not the first person doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And if you feel something that is on your heart, make it your own. Just be you, and whatever you is, because people gonna talk about you whether you're doing bad or good, but it's okay to model your program or be that entrepreneur or be what it is you want to be. It's okay. There's no rules to this. I just wanted to stop you because a lot of times the platform is there. You feel like you want to do something, just go do it. You know, try it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I left a $100,000 job to come chase my dream. In terms of, I used to work in the government. And people say, "Man, you're crazy, man." But I'm a street guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler. And I said that sounds like good money on paper, but that's not good money. You know what I'm saying? I looked at a check that we got last week from Murder Free versus what I've earned business-wise last week, and I'm like, man, I'm doing all this work for this, but I know my mission. I know my purpose, and that's what's driving me. It's not necessarily the money. The money is just to compensate me for what I'm passionate about.
Can I stop
and
you
I
one
can
more
market
time?
my passion. You know what I'm saying?
Because
and move my passion.
When you walking in purpose, though, like, I mean, when you really, truly doing your thing, like, there's a lot of people really just getting to know Buzy with B. And I'm just all free. I ain't making nothing from it. I ain't, you know, but I'm just, it's a joy, it's a love. But, I mean, God will find a way to manifest in your life. Just walking your purpose, it's going to come to you. I get to be surrounded by all these great entrepreneurs. I'm meeting you and Trey doing this thing. And you just never know what can happen. Walking your purpose. Just try it. So I just wanted to stop you there because I might not have to leave my job. My job might leave me. But go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just, sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day work, but this particular project, we was able to put something together to help our buddies. You know how deep that is?
Yeah.
These guys come home. We had one of our friends, he did 26, 23, 20. I mean, those numbers, we counted in a room one day. It was over almost 300 years worth of time these guys gave up. And they're able to come home, and now they're able to go out in their community where they wreaked all this havoc and go out here and help some people.
So, touching on that, I'm going to stop you one more time because I'm supposed to have Murder Free DC in the building a month ago, a minute ago, and I want to just show a brief synopsis of the Venable, Clarence Venable.
Yes.
I had some great things. I had a great show. I didn't really rerun everything. Everybody was doing their shots out, but I dedicated the whole show to him. Just a funny, all-around guy.
Love her.
I was able to make the funeral, make all of that. Trey, you spoke so just everything. I think I posted. You know, I read all of this stuff out loud on one of the shows. So maybe we could rerun that one day. Trayon at the funeral just gave an amazing speech. See, I read all of that good stuff for the viewers.
Oh, wow.
It was really like a moment. But he was just one of the guys that was a part of this movement, and he lost his life. And I just knew him as a funny guy. And when I saw his son, I was like, hold on, like what
Looks
is
like him reincarnated. Yes, same
like,
person.
What is going on? Like I really thought I was tripping.
No.
Like his gestures and his funny, like it was just, I couldn't even like be sad. It was just like, man, he has left his mark in so many ways. But Trey, you gave such an amazing speech. But shout out to Venable, and I want Trayon to say something. He was a part of this murder-free thing.
Yeah, I guess I'm on the government side of it, and I guess when King McDuffie actually introduced a bill called the NEAR Act, and when I got to the council, I saw that it was being implemented as far as the one's office, but I didn't see where the money was going for intervention and prevention, because the narrative by leaders of the city was that crime was down. But I was doing visuals 2-3 times a week. And so I knew that my job was to heighten the contradictions on the council and allow them to see what I saw. So I met with every last council member, probably except for one. and try to convince them we need to put money in the budget for prevention. And I think the first year I got in office, we put $750,000 into work. That's citywide. You're talking about a $14.5 billion budget at the time.
Wow.
And I fought again. We fought again. I ended up lobbying and supporting Kenny McDuffie, Robert White, Chairman Mendelson. Then I used to work for Carl Racine. So I said, let me call Carl to figure out if he can do something to intervene into this. And he chipped in and started the movement of putting money in the resource to prevention. Because his job as an attorney general, his lawyers lock up juveniles in D.C. And so he joined us to help prevent some of that in the city. And so we got money. And now we up to about, I guess, $14 million right now,
Awesome.
which still is a drop in the bucket. We're now in a $15.5 billion budget. And we have a lot of black men, particularly, and even, kids. You had a young boy, 14 years old, shot up here yesterday.
Malachi,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just met with his family at my store because we make Rest in Peace T-shirts there.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we do, my wife, she just stepped out. We do a lot of counseling and grief work when people come in. A lot of times, the families come in, the mothers, the
I
grandmothers.
know exactly where you're still
And
at
we
now.
deal with a lot of those issues. We were there today dealing with a lot of his classmates who came all the way over there from uptown to get some stuff done for him. And we're designing some programs and stuff like that for the funeral. It's just a rough situation at time in the city because it's easy to mediate a beef when you know it's two crews. You can figure out what the misunderstanding is, what the need that's not being met between Group A versus Group B. Now what we're seeing is a new trend where there's just interpersonal conflict between two people that may escalate at any time, anywhere. So we could be at two people from a different part of town could find themselves, hey, I'm here on 7th Street at the store right there, the Metro, getting me a phone or some clothes or whatever they do, and we walk out the door, hey man, you stepped on my shoe. Pow, it's a shoot. We can't mediate that. It's hard. We had a shooting here on North Capitol last month, just like that. A guy went in a fresh city gear to buy some shoes, and when he came out the door, guy came out, they had a few words, he shot at him. I mean, it was just that fast. It seems like everybody's carrying, so it's like we have to almost be there at every situation because when it's time to mediate, you have to identify these conflicts. And what we're finding now is just between 1 to 2 individuals. And it's not as deep as it used to be. Now, they still have these neighborhood beefs, but that's what's making this more of a challenge because that can escalate. I can see my man in 13th Street.
And it's been neglected for so long.
Yeah.
You're talking about 7 to 8 years and no money put in the budget to address this issue of the trauma, mental health, substance abuse, disconnected from education for 4 to 5 to 10 years. And so we used to classify the highest risk youth as tier 1. We found out that our tier 3 guys are active. They even use the word active. They say, man, we active. And social media has added another dynamic to beefing in the streets. And so I do want to say the Mayor Bowser added money to the budget too. I didn't want to leave her out because the second year she did add money to the budget to do violence prevention intervention.
Shout out Mel Bowser. You can join me right here on the Busy with B show.
We want to shout out Trayon because he was instrumental in helping us, especially in Ward 8 and our location that we have over there in Oak Park and Bellevue and also Washington Highlands and some of the other locations that he was able to identify that we needed the services in the city. So.
But that's what I'm saying with as far as Trayon. Can you really grasp the fact that you are some people's Marion Barry? Like you are a generation of Marion Barry, just like Jordan was a generation and Kobe was a generation. I really want you to sit in that moment and
That's
enjoy
a big shoes
it.
to fill.
But what I'm saying is enjoy it because people really do look up to you and you are a huge part of the community.
I guess my desire really is to see our people progress. I feel like I have the tools and education to be successful in whatever I put my mind to, but I want to see us grow economically. I want to see more people, our school systems get better. I know one of the things we talked about years ago when I first came on the show, well, not years ago, but some time, was about the food desert we live in. And I'm proud to say, under my leadership, we opened up 2 new grocery stores and a community garden. I went to Africa 5 years ago, and I was in Benin, and I noticed there was a garden there that
I gotta go with you
that
one day.
transformed into what is called Songhai.
Yeah.
And we're trying to replicate that with DC Greens and the Green Scheme in Ward 8. We're going in Roxanne Run Park. It's going to be phenomenal. It's called The Whale. And once you see it, it's nothing you ever seen in DC.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And
So-
he fixed Safeway too. the new say I shopping there now. The one on Nella Road.
Yeah.
They doing it as we speak. They renovating the store. They gutting it and cleaning it and putting new. It's better. Yes, much better.
So I want to talk about. Hold on, I did do a little bit of notes, right? Just hold up. The Reunion Square development. Touch on that a little bit.
So real quick, about 2 years ago, I started doing some research on Reunion Square because it came on my desk as a project slated for Ward 8 in the lower Anacostia area. And it was a project that encompassed a hotel, an office building, and an apartment building. But I started doing a deeper dive into the project as far as with the apartment building. It was about 133 units. And I was trying to figure out of those units, what was the bedroom size, what was the affordability rates, and I really realized that only about 13 to 14 of those units were actually affordable. And so basically, we were using $60.7 million in tax increment financing as the government to infuse into this project to underwrite it for people, which was good. But I was like, what about the people that live in the community? They should have some stake in this as well. And so I started to peel back the project, and I noticed that they did a CBA agreement, community benefit agreement, and it was $250,000. I was like, okay, that's good. And I was like, how much is the total project? And I learned it was $300 million. And the government is giving them $60.7 million in tax increment financing. I'm like, we need more. So now we have $1.3 million, and we've included the schools. And I gave a lot of pushback. And some of the newer residents were in opposition to me giving pushback. And so it put me in a situation where I'm trying to figure out what's the happy medium here. Because I don't want to be in a situation where we build up all this stuff, but the people that grew up in the city like us get pushed out. Because I don't want 10 years from now, they say, oh, Ward 8 is a beautiful place, but no one else lives there. No. And so one of the other things I did was I introduced a bill that speaks to displacement free zones. And it's a bill created to freeze the taxes in and around areas hardest hit by development. In fact, I'm introducing a part of it tomorrow on the council. Allow to freeze taxes. So as we build, people rents won't go up, mortgages won't skyrocket. Because my mortgage increased about 11% probably in the last year and a half.
Wow.
And you know that's a lot, especially we have a lot of people that's on fixed incomes or lower incomes. So we want to make sure we address all the people in the community. So we have Starbucks coming to Ward 8. I just announced that last Friday. Nice. We have some grocery stores, some businesses, some job opportunities, careers. I just opened an infrastructure academy too. But we opened an infrastructure academy too over there off of Pomeroy Road to get people careers in Pepco, DC Water, Washington Gas. And then we added an IT part to it too, because there's a lot of jobs in IT in the district. So we've been working very hard to, right some of the wrongs in our community. So you'll see a lot more of that under my leadership.
That's what's up. We coming to the end of the show. You see,
already?
Yeah, I kind of calmed down a little bit. Like I got the soothing voice on, all that good stuff. But I want if you want, because you up for re-election. So first of all, I want y'all to know where y'all need to go and donate at.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
I'm going to donate after the show. It's not going to be under Buzy with B. Y'all going to get the real name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So my website is Trayon, Trayon, no V. I know a lot of people call me Trayvon. Trayon 4 Ward 8.com. It gets you a little bit about who I am, my platform, what I represent, what some things I've been fighting for, some things we've been able to achieve, and some things we're still currently working on to beautify, uplift. Like I was with D-Dot today. We're trying to make sure we get signs to clean our streets too. Yeah. We rarely ever find a Wednesday clean sign in various communities. So we've been working with D-Dot so we can figure that, make sure people are safe crossing, because we have more pedestrian deaths as relates to traveling in the streets than any place in the district. And so we're working on that. But Trayon for Ward8.com. I'm doing public campaign financing.
Yeah, I want you to talk about that. And what made you, my question is, what made you do it a little different this year?
Well, I always ran a grassroots campaign. Okay. I believe we got, one thing I learned from Murray Burry is that the power is in the people. And it's not always easy leading our people, because a lot of people in our ward is consumed with their own lives. We have about 82% single parent households, predominantly African American women, and so we got to get people involved, right? Because whenever at the hearings and I see people speaking about their issues. I'm like, well, they has more issues than that, but we're not present. So I've been trying to get people more involved, and so this campaign has not really been about voting for Trayon White, but it's about education and equality. It's about economic empowerment in our communities, about owning businesses, stopping the violence. It's about increasing, people going to college, business ownership. It's about health and wellness. It's about addressing the mental health issues in our community. So we running a issues-based campaign, and so you're going to see a lot of us talking about a lot of issues. I'm using the platform during the election because I can win the election. This is my 5th election. I'm saying that humbly, but I want to get people. When the people win, I win. And so public campaign finance allow a lot of people to give a little bit, and the government match them 5-1. And so I could have got corporate donations. Actually, I looked at one of my colleagues' budget the other day. He raised $170,000 already within like a month.
Where you at, Trey? And where we need to be?
So right now I'm at 10,000 to 10,000 and something today. Okay. And the max you can donate is $50. Okay. And so we ask for $5, $10, $15, $50 is the max.
I mean, so y'all hear this, right? I mean, because one thing I can say is it just gives us an opportunity to get behind greatness. I mean, it gives us a time to put our money where our mouth is. And I mean, especially someone like me, you're going to start with me. Like I said, I'm going to give after the show. But I want you guys to match me. It's tax time. Let's get real. On the Buzy with Me show, let's get real. It's tax season. It's no reason why we can't get behind this man who has been doing it for a lot of years. Yes, I got back hype. That's all I needed. But let's be real. I mean, we could go out here. We spend a lot of money on things that don't even make sense. Stupid. I mean, I ain't gonna say whatever you want to spend your money on, but we talking about right now. It's tax season. It is what it is. I work all year. It's tax season. Pull out those Visa cards. Let's get it in for Trayon White. He's in the community. He's been here for a long time. It's his time to shine. Our modern day Martin Luther King. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Our modern day Marion Bray. So I'm just saying, we admire him. We always coming to him. So I mean, let's put our money where our mouth is, and I mean, it's gonna start right here with Buzy with B. And,
thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm excited about that. So, like always, he always shows up for your girl. So I'm so humble, and thank you so much. To joining me in the studio for the first time. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. I'm going to be out there in the community. I'm doing some things. Buzy will be is working on some things. I really want to be able to move around and get around, and I understand there's only one me. So I need to be able to show up when Trey hit me at 7 o'clock at night like I'm a real news. I'm like, Trey, I'm getting a root canal. I can't be there right now. I can't talk right now. But so I'm going to be able to, I'm working on some things, so hopefully, like I said, I can get that mentorship and somebody to take me under the wing so I could be able to show up. Your girl be right on the next corner reporting our news and being there for us. So, I'm excited. We got some great things coming on the Buzy with B show in the coming weeks. I'm always excited. Women, self-care, self-love, self-awareness, relationships, all that good stuff right here on the Buzy with B show. Thank you guys so much for showing up for your girl. You didn't have to give me your time, but you did. So I'm excited. I got my Buzy with B family, my Buzy with B bestie, and always showing up behind the camera, holding it for me, all that good stuff, fixing my hair. It's nothing like that. So I love you. Shout out to Shannon, the Glovers. I can't. I'm so humble. But make sure you guys join me right here each and every Monday, right here, 7 to 8, Buzy with B. Peace.
With B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune tune into my station, baby, and get busy with beat.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps.